Hello again. Well, I've been looking forward to building this little kit. This is from Bike Delight, and I want to thank my kids, my daughter and my son, for buying me this for my birthday. So thank you very much to them too. This has come from abroad. It's got a customs declaration letter on it. But enough of all that, let's get into the main event. Yes, I have opened it once because I've taken out the invoice with personal details on it and that sort of stuff. So let's open it up and have a look inside. There is a envelope which I'll put to one side for the time being. So because we need to look at the main event, and here it is in all its splendour. What is it, I hear you say? Well, it's a load of bags and a circuit board. What else do you expect? In more details, this is a 48K Sinclair ZX Spectrum. It's the Harlequin board. It says ZX Spectrum Super Harlequin Revision G across the top. It has got some pre-installed components, surface mount there and there. On the flip side, there's no surface mount as far as I can see. So I'm looking forward to building this little baby. Here we have all the ICs that's going to go into it, including the Z80 chip down there, and all the IC holders on that side as well. Here's all the components. Now the thing about this, and the thing about the Harlequin kit, and the reason why I asked my kids to buy me this is because all the bags inside here are numbered. So you can see that it said number 1 on that one says 27 on that one. So it takes you through step by step which components to put on the board in which order. You can't go wrong. Well, you can't go wrong. I probably can. Also in here is another IC, which I believe is the ROM or something like that. Can't remember what that one is. It could be the ULA even. Looks a bit small for ULA, but we'll have a look at that as we build it. Everything is in here, so I'm really looking forward to building this. Let's just put it to one side for a moment. In the envelope, you get a bit of advertising, of course. Oh, I also bought at the same time a Div MMC, which is acts like a what do you used to call them? Micro drives, isn't it? So it allows you to put games on an SD card and load them onto your Spectrum. In fact, just bear with me for a second. I haven't got a very big desk, you see, so I have to do this in bits and pieces. Here it is. Here's the Div MMC connected to my Specky at the moment, and I've got a joystick plugged into it as well, because I've been playing Pac-Man, of all things. So it is an Atari one, but it's been plugged in, and I've been playing games on this. I might actually do a quick review on this at a later date, but that's the Div MMC from Bike Delight as well. And it is absolutely excellent. That goes back over there for me to play Pac-Man on later on. Might even get a game of Manic Miner put in there. So anyway, there is the instructions for that. So let's put that to one side. Bit of advertising. There's advertising for the Harlequin kit. I won't mind one of those these days. It is a rainbow kit, so you can have LEDs behind the keyboard. But that's for another day. This is what we need. This is the instructions for the building of the Harlequin kit. Very nice, very easily laid out by the looks of things. Got a circuit diagram here which will help any bug fixing. Layout of the circuit board, that's going to come in handy. A layout of all the components there. And some pictures as we build, so we'll be able to compare what we're building at the same time as looking at the pictures. So yeah, really looking forward to building this. I do have a Spectrum 120, not 128, sorry, Spectrum Plus, which is down here. Here it is. This is actually working. This is a working, because it says so. It's up there, look, working. This is one that I repaired a while ago. This has, what have I done with this one? Oh, I've had to change a couple of transistors in this. I've done a capacitor refurb on it as well. Anyway, this works okay, but I'm going to use this case for the new board that I'm working on now. So let's get back to this. So I'm not going to show you me building this step by step. I think there's plenty of videos on YouTube showing you step by step how to build this, which I've watched quite a few of them, so I know what I'm getting myself into. What I will do is we'll just go through the basic setup that I'm going to have on my desk, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to do a quick time lapse which will show you building this, and then at the end hopefully we'll be able to switch it on and it to work. I've just had a thought, I might have to read the instructions, but there's no speaker in the box, so I wonder if you have to provide your own speaker. Some bits and pieces wrapped up in there, but let me have a quick look at the instructions and see what that says. Okay, so it does mention the speaker down here, so it looks like I'm going to have to get a speaker, probably take one from an existing board, or there's a code on there to buy them online, so I'll have a look and see if I can buy it online. One thing I also noticed while I was looking through there, that this is not the ULA. Oh, of course not, because some of the ICs on here replace the ULA. This is the original ROM, so this is an original ROM from a Spectrum that I also bought as part of the package as well. So that's what that is. It's an original ROM. So I think what we'll do is we'll clear the desk a bit of some of the rubbish that you can't see at the sides, and we'll start to get this prepared. Right, you've just seen me cleaning the board. That's just to remove any flux or grease or anything like that that's been left as part of the manufacturer process. So we're only going to be soldering on the back side of the board, not on the top of the board. So this is now ready to go into the vise. And I'm trying to get it, got caught on the cable, so there we go. Right, so let's get this, which way is the right in? That way around, isn't it? Okay, so let's get this into the vise. A bit bigger than I thought. So I'll leave that right on the edge. I just need it a little bit more there. There we go, that's now in. Okay, let's tighten those up. Right, and there we have it. That's my board ready for soldering. So I think what we'll do now is we'll reposition the camera and we can set this up and start to build it. Fingers crossed. Next time you hear my lovely dulcet tones, I'll be saying, woohoo, it works. Welcome back after that little montage of me building the Sinclair 48K Spectrum Harlequin version. Now, apologies first of all, the software that I was using for the time-lapse, new software that I've not used before called frame-lapse on my mobile phone. I set it to every 30 seconds, bit too quick, and I don't think the software worked quite well as I thought it would do. That's why that montage was a bit quick. So I apologise for that, but all I did was follow the instructions, and we'll have a quick look at the instructions in a moment, and I'll just very quickly go over that. So I could do what other YouTubers have done. I'm not saying that all YouTubers are like this. I'm saying some of them are, which they will just plug it in and go, hey, look, it works first time, fantastic, woohoo. This didn't, and as you can see, I have plugged it in. It kind of worked first time, but let me explain what happened, because there was a slight error, shall we say, between the circuit board and the seat. And let me just grab the instructions and I'll show you what I mean, because if you're going to build one of these, you might have the same problem. Now, I'm going to very quickly just go into the instructions here and show you what I mean. Here it is. Right, the jumpers here are 3, 2, 1. So pin number 3, pin number 2, pin number 1. The jumpers here, look, are pin number 1, pin number 2, pin number 3. So they're opposite way around. Jumper 9, jumper 11 and jumper 10, so 9, 10 and 11, are to do with setting whether it's NTSC or PAL. So NTSC is 1 and 2 and PAL is 2 and 3. So what did I do? Well, I thought, well, of course, I know what this is. All we've got to do is put the jumpers on and everything will be sorted out, of course, which is here. Now, if you can see, I've got a jumper across these two and there's a pin there. Now, I thought as I was building this, well, logically, if the pin number 1 for the chips is at the top here, then logically there should be pin 1, pin 2, pin 3. That is the mistake that I made. It is in fact pin 1 at the bottom, pin 2, pin 3. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and that's the mistake that I made. Because, as we saw on here with the jumpers, just zoom out for you, out of the way, there we go, are actually back to front. So when I switched it on for the first time, I got a very strange looking screen and it didn't respond and it crashed and all sorts. Well, that's because I had it set up for NTSC, which is American TV, and I'm in the UK, so mine is PAL. So the crystal, which is on the side here, you get 2 crystals in the pack. That crystal was set up for PAL, but the jumpers were set up for NTSC, so it didn't work. So what I thought, well, you know, I'm going to have to go through everything. I thought it might be a chip that's blown, but it wasn't that. After I read the instructions for the third time, I then realised that these pins were in fact the other way around. So if you're going to build one of these, just watch out for that, because that can catch you out. Once I set that to PAL, everything worked correctly. What's that? You don't believe me? Oh, excuse me. Let us have a look. Let's switch the monitor on. Move that over to one side. There we go. And I'll just switch off the lamps There we go. Okay, and we'll switch on the spectrum. There we go. Sinclair Research across the bottom there. I think you can see that. There you are. And that is running from the Harlequin. And yes, so the second time I turned it on, not the first time, we did in fact get some life out of it. Watch your eyes, the light is coming back on. I'll turn the specky off. 3, 2, 1. The light is back on and the spectrum is turned off. So once I got the copyright, the next thing to do is to plug in the keyboard. So I went into my box of bits and pieces and I found myself a keyboard. And if you just bear with me for 1 second.
A few moments later.
So I then found this keyboard in the drawer of bits, and before I could plug it in, this was the membrane that was on it. And as you can see, this membrane was broken just here. This end was all coming to pieces as well. So this membrane had to go like that. And luckily I had a brand new membrane that was in my little store. So heated the metal cover up, took the top cover off. This has been documented in loads of videos on the internet, which is why I've not recorded and shown you this. Popped in the new keyboard membrane, and then we can just plug it into the new board. So that's a new membrane on a new board. There we go. And I use a piece of cardboard just to sit it on like that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we'll switch the spec on again. And just to show you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And we can delete. So that's all working okay. So we've got to do this, 10, print. Okay, so the E is not working. Right, it's been a couple of days since we discovered that the keys here, particularly the E, wasn't working. And I've been doing a little bit of research and to show you what I found. So all the keys above it were working, all the keys below it were working, the keys on the right hand side of the keyboard were working, but these first few keys here are not working. They're currently still not working. So if I lay the old membrane over this camera for you, there we go. We can see that this row of keys is connected to this cable here. So if we follow that cable up and round, up there, up there, up there, it's the second cable from the left hand side on the ribbon that connects to the keyboard. Okay, if we look at this side, if we're looking at this one here, it's only that key. So if these keys down here wasn't working, then we could follow that one. But because this row or these 5 keys here are not working, it's got to be that cable that goes up there. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are the keys that are in question. Okay, so let me just plonk that lot over there. Okay, so what we can see, this is the keyboard connector, and we can go 1, 2. So that connects through this resistor into these transistors here. So what I thought, well, the easiest thing to do, is it one of these transistors, although these transistors are new, is it these transistors, one of these transistors that's blown or wasn't working from day one? And to actually just to double check that, what I then did is in the instructions booklet that came with the kit. There is a link, a QR code link, and I'll put up on the screen now the connections that are actually on the circuit diagram. And what it shows here is the plug that is the keyboard is connected to, and it's connected through the resistor pack, or the resistor pack is connected to it providing power, but then it's connected to the transistors. So there's a direct link between the plug and the transistor leg. Okay, let's go back to the bench. And what we need to do now is we need to see or check to make sure that we've got connectivity. So the plug is here, we've turned it upside down. We know it's the second one. It's now, because I've turned the circuit board around, it's the second one from the right hand side. So let's have a look at that. I'll just zoom in a bit so you can see. Okay, there we go. I've got my multimeter here. So multimeter here, and I've just got it on continuity. Okay, right. So what I then did is I did a very simple continuity check. And you're going to have to excuse me, I'm going to have to bring in my magnifying glass so I can see what's going on as well. Okay, so this is the plug part here, or the socket part. This is the resistor pack here, and this is the 3 legs for the transistors. So if we go and check here, that works okay. So between the plug and the resistor pack, everything is working okay. But if we go from the plug to the first leg on the transistor, that's okay. That's not okay. That's not working. Yeah, that one is. So all those are connecting apart from this one here. This one is not connecting. It's connecting between the socket and the resistor pack, but it's not connected between the resistor pack and the first leg of the transistor. So something isn't right there. What I'm going to do now is very quickly just reflow the solder on that leg. So maybe just the joint that isn't quite right. So let's just do a quick, let's clean my, there we go, clean the tip because it's a bit dirty. Let's just reflow that, and we'll reflow that. Okay, they just reflowed. Let's check that again. Okay, so from the plug to the resistors, that's okay, that's okay. Second one, that's okay. That's still not okay. But that one's not. The only thing I can assume is that there's a break on the actual circuit board itself. It doesn't look as if there's a break. I've got nothing showing on the multimeter. So I think what I'll do now is I'll just get the microscope out and have a quick look. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll bring the microscope in, and careful how I do this because it's how am I going to do this? Is there enough room on there to... No, we can't quite... Oh, we can do it that way around. That should do it. Let me just show you how I've got it connected up. There we go. Right, okay, so I've got that connected up. So let's do a double check I'm actually looking at the right thing. So check this leg. Turn the multimeter on, that might help. Yep. 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 No. Just check the next one, just to be sure. Yep. Yep. So there's definitely something between these two that's not working. The actual line on the circuit board looks okay. Doesn't look as if it's broken. But it is. So I think we're going to have to do a little, very little bodge wire between the 2 points. So let's bring that in. This is just an offcut on a leg from a resistor or something. But under the microscope, it looks massive, doesn't it? Right, let's see if we can. Just need to chop this down a little bit, I think. Right. Okay, so that's going to be about the right size. Okay, it is. Right. Oh. Well, that's made the right pig zero, that, hasn't it? Okay, let's see if that now is working okay. Okay, so that's not quite connected on the far end again. So let's see if we can do that a bit better. Where's my solder? Here's my solder. All I need is an absolute dab of this. I don't really need much. There. Right. Let's just test that again. That's better. Right. Hopefully that should now work. Right, I'm going to pause the video, clear my desk and plug it in again. Back in a second. Okay, so we're back on the bench. Let us switch on and make sure it works okay now. So power on, and we have the copyright, which is great. So let's just try 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 0. Yep, that works okay. Moment of truth. Yay! Plot W E T. Yep, they're working okay. Yep, they're working okay. Right, now we can do what I was going to do in the first place, which was go to 10. There we go. Hello world. It's the law. You've got to do this, you know. Right, okay, so far so good. That's great. That's working okay now. I'm really pleased about that. I was absolutely panicking. I'd have to replace one of the transistors, but it looks like it was a simple break on the circuit board. No idea why that happened, but a little bodge wire and it worked okay. Remember to switch off your soldering iron. Okay, what else? Oh yes, next thing we're going to do is have a look at this. So I bought this a while ago, and all it is it's a emulator for tapes. So you've got a little SD card which goes in the top. It uses an Arduino which is buried underneath that. I bought this pre-made up. So let us plug this in. And I'm just going to plug the earphone into the back of this specky. There we go, making sure that the other cable doesn't short against the circuit board. Right, okay, so switch the specky back on again. And I've got a couple of games on here. What I'm going to do is next. Oh, there we go, that's what I was after. Donkey Kong, right. So just like normally, you go load, quote, quote, press enter, and then we just press play on here. And it loads up as normal. Okay, so we're now loaded up, that's worked okay. We can just put that to one side now. There we go, I'll just power that off. There we go. Let's see if we can play this. I don't know what the keyboard is actually. Number 7, define keys, what are they? So we can go, so we go left, right, so go left is Z, right is X. Up and down, let's go K, oh dear, K and O. Fire we'll do as P. Okay. Not. I'm going to show you how rubbish I am playing this game now. Okay, so those keys are working okay. Okay, up is working okay. Up, down working okay. Ah. Yep, told you I was no good at playing this game. Okay, so look, that's worked okay. The keyboard's working, sound is working as you can hear, and we've loaded the game. Okay, let's just switch this off, pause it. Right, okay, so back on here again. I'm just going to remove the keyboard because there's a couple more things that we can do. I won't do them in this video, but I will just tell you about them. So if you are going to build one of these, I might do a part 2, I don't know, it just depends how it goes. Okay, right, so on the +2, which I've got down here, this is what's in pieces at the moment. You've got a reset button at the side here, and that reset button is connected to the circuit board over this capacitor here. On this circuit board you also have a reset, which is just down there, so we can solder 2 wires onto that and to a switch. So that's our reset down there. What we can also do, you'll notice I'm using I can't remember what these are called. I'll put it on the screen what that's called. But you've also got, oh, that's a bit tight. 2 types of connections: RCA connection and that type, which is, I think is S-video. There's your earphone and microphone in and out, your rear connection board, and your power as per normal. If you want to put this into a normal case, you're going to have to create another hole for that as well. But there you go, essentially that is it. That is the build of the Harlequin. I'm not going into great detail. Oh, I was going to show you the box. Back with you in a second. Right, this is what I was going to show you. Everything is labelled up. There's the extra crystal for the NTSC. So if you want NTSC for America, there's the extra crystal. All the packages are numbered and labelled. There we go, everything is labelled and numbered. You simply start at number 1, which is there, and you just follow the packages, numbers, find the component on the circuit board and solder it on. Honestly, it is as simple as that. There are a couple of things you need to do. You need to make sure you've got the correct settings for PAL or NTSC, which I got initially wrong, but if you read the instructions, you'll get them right. And the other thing is just take your time. Take your time, make sure that your solder is nice and clean, your soldering iron tip is nice and clean. Take your time, everything is in the pack, and enjoy building it. I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and I've now got a brand new working Spectrum Harlequin revision G. I might do a follow-up video in a few weeks or a couple of months where I put this into a case and get it set up. I'm thinking about buying one of those super duper, you know, those clear cases with RGB lights in and stuff. Maybe that's another project, but we'll have a look at that. If you like what I do, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe down there. And of course, goes without saying that all this talking is making my throat dry. So if you feel up to it, please buy me coffee from the link below. Thanks very much. Catch you again soon. Thanks for watching.